spend all week playing it.
Invit's out.
I was trying to cheer Kelly on channeling his in on Matt Neal, but it didn't work.
Yeah, no, I didn't have anybody to crash into.
Although he kept going off at the corner, he kept going off at the same corner where Matt Neal took to shed him out. So I suppose he did channel it in a way.
I think.
I explored all the limits of the track. I know Alton Park intimately. I know every single hedge.
I was going to say, I think you learned every new line there.
As intimate as
and it just happened to be all the laps that I was doing really nicely and really smooth. You weren't focusing on me. Every time I went wide, it was like, look, that's gone wide again.
Don't. That's not me, mate. That's fucking Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a reputation to uphold at this track in the touring cars. Last time I was here in the longer configuration, I took the win. Double win, actually.
Right, no pressure then. Crack on.
Well, this is the island configuration, not the long one. I know it's only one ton of a difference, but
yeah, it's 300 yards shorter. Don't worry about it.
Knickerbrook's still here, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
You've got to bust out the old Knickerbrook fact again, Kelly.
That's the Knickers found in the hedge thing.
Yeah. We're missing first chicane and the tight right hander.
Yeah. Island Bend, Shell Oil, Britain's. Then it's back.
Yeah.
Let me load the names up, Reddit.
Who are we missing?
Did I start broadcasting for G? Yes, let me send that over to him before I get told off.
So what tracks are you thinking about doing for the GT Sport thing?
Brands Hatch, Bathurst, Monza, Goodwood, Interlagos, Laguna Seca, Red Bull. They're going to be like 7 short races to crown a winner that night, sort of thing.
I don't really see Brands Hatch being that kind of track. I've never for those kind of cars, so I've never driven on the junior.
It felt nice to be fair around Brands GP. Felt alright in them. I mean, I'm only on the pad, but yeah, it didn't feel
they're quite planted, aren't they?
Oh, fucking planted, yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
The one thing I was doing last night, I was watching back the fun races we had on here when we were at Darlington Park, and I was in the Ferrari. You couldn't keep your fucking eyes off me. I was going that fast.
When we did it at Sim Play.
Yeah.
Oh, what fucking you were in like the Bumblebee colours from Transformers, and like that car was a fucking rocket ship.
Yep. That's why I want to do that again on here with the Sim Play, or at least Mauve or something, because I love that car.
Yeah, that was a nice car.
So let me get this straight in. You spent your Saturday night going back over old fun races on YouTube, yeah?
Before I went to bed, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you need to get a life, man.
I tell you, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for the stuff you gain something you already have.
Sorry, what was that? I missed that.
It's kind of hard to gain something you already have.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, rock and roll.
Of course.
I know, yeah.
I just, my life is currently up in Hamilton with her mother.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right, so far we're missing a lot of Gary.
I have to say, Ian, by the way, your colour scheme is probably the nicest one I've seen yet.
On what?
On Thursday for Team Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Let me forward you the picture. Yeah,
because I have my own custom skin on it. It's like a cracked effect that has like metallic, like grey, blue, and everything on it.
Yeah. Oh, where's that? Where is it? Where is it? There. Right.
I just don't know how the hell to get it onto the Brazil one. Because I know there is standard Brazil.
Yeah, Jamie's doing it so that then hopefully everybody will be able to sort of get off the thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah, off the shield.
So I think Jamie's doing it, so everybody can get it off of there.
Yeah, that's not bad actually.
It's literally just a flag on the car, and then he's putting the Simplay logo on it. It's some way.
Well, I don't know if I don't think I do have that, but it's easy enough to sell some cars, isn't it? I'm gonna have to sell my GR2 GTR. Fucking.
Get rid of that. That's the stream.
That has a custom skull flag with like bungee and all that down the side.
Huh? Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Told you have.
Right, we're just waiting on Lauder. That's it.
Your hands are cold.
The warm.
Is Gary not joining?
He said he was. He said he wasn't able to make it, and I asked if he was just running late again or what, and he didn't get back to me.
Oh, what a shame.
I know he's been having a few problems at home recently, so I don't know if. Yeah.
Oh well, more points for us.
Oh, excuse me.
But yeah, do we really need to start doing pre-season testing so we do for next season of Simply?
Just because you two are shit.
I'm considering. I think Porsche's got to be the one because it's the best all-rounder.
Yeah.
Oh, you fuck! You can't come in my fucking car. It's banned.
No, your fucking car.
I want to go in the Porsche because it's actually decent in the wet. I can't drive the Lambo in the wet.
I can.
Actually, it's not the car; it's the driver. I've also taught you how to drive in the wet as well by raising the ride height and turning up the tyre pressures. But
even then, it doesn't help with a Lambo.
But if you're the better driver, if you're the better driver, who finished third in the driver's stand and who at what team finished second in the constructors?
I had a shit driver teammate.
That's no excuse.
And not the fact you dropped half your points at the beginning of the season either.
Yeah, I dropped half my points. I gave you a head start, Ema guy. Also driving a Ferrari as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
I gave you a head start, and I nearly caught you at the end.
Oh,
you know?
Sutty's considering the Ferrari for next year.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
Just let him do it. Fucking let him do it.
Just give him the footage of Daytona. That's all we fucking need.
Thank you, baby.
Dan, just shut up. Just let him do it. That's more points for us, okay?
No, I want a fight.
G's got the thing onto.
Right, I don't think Lauder's turning up, so.
Don't worry, Kelly. Track map is loaded with the corner names. I have done it. It's there ready. I've got the touring car lap record in the race and the qualifying. Oh, the qualifying's helped by Plato.
Have you got the overall lap record?
I don't want the overall lap record. This is touring cars we're on about here, Kelly, isn't it,
whatever.
mate? Jason Plato's got the qualifying lap record.
Has he? What's that?
25.4.
25.
We're all going already.
Overall?
We're already going quicker than that.
Colin Turkington's got the
what
race
we
lap
on
record.
Island. The overall lap record is a 1:18.5.
Dubai. Matt Neal probably in some fucking awesome car.
Bolsquist? Something like that?
Tom Blomqvist.
Yeah, that's on the PS. That's a real life one project.
2010 in a Formula Renault. 1:18.5.
Well, that's probably on the PS4 though, not the PC.
No, this is real life.
No, in real
Really,
life,
guys?
in the real world here.
right,
Look
okay.
out the window. There's a real world out there.
Tom Blomqvist, I'm sure, raced the same season as Jamie Caroline in the F4.
Right, guys, we're about to get going.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah. If you open the door, you can go out there.
Holy shit!
Well, you can in a couple of weeks' time.
Right, I'll
do
just
I-
give
do I have to-
Lauder one more invite, then he's definitely had like fucking 10 million.
Do we have to pay for the expansion to go outside?
Yeah.
Right,
Fuck, that's
you guys
all
ready?
the world's run.
Yeah. Born ready.
So
now.
you're telling me the world's run by EA?
Okay. Let's get going.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Good luck,
Let's
guys.
stay away from each other, Andy.
Best of
We
luck,
don't want to
Andy.
repeat last week.
Yeah, just stay the fuck away from me, please. Mate.
I'll hit him, don't you worry.
Dan.
Yeah, please do.
Dan. Put
Yeah.
a fuel in, mate.
Cheers, man. Thanks for telling me. I'm going
You're
in game chat. Catch you later.
See
you.
Have a good one, boys.
That's payback for bringing up Matt fucking Neil.
Hey, I'm sure there's tier 2 jokes we can use.
Probably.
I'm sure you'll remind us tier 1 fans as well, Kelly, won't you?
Yep. No doubt. Do you want me to help you commentate on Thursday night then, Matt? I
You
don't
can
know
do,
how it
mate,
works
if you're
on-
available. I don't know how it works neither.
Yeah, funnily enough, I find myself at a bit of a loose end this Thursday evening.
It's funny that, because I do as well.
Yeah, I don't know how it works on GT though.
No, neither do I.
Fair enough.
It's a dedicated spectator mode.
Right, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I'm going to have a play in the week and find out. Live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Motive Racing for the Mtcc Tier 1 here at Alton Park. Matthew Duffin in the box with my co-commentator and, well, I say co-commentator, we're joint commentators, if you will, Kelly Davis. Kelly, how the devil are you?
Very well, Matthew. And yourself?
I'm very good after I've just watched your good, clean racing.
Good, clean racing? You weren't watching me. Yes, Tier 2 was interesting. I fared about as well as I normally do. Terrible. Hey, moving on. Tier 1s are on track. And here we are, Alton Park. Alton Park Island, once again, as per the Touring Car Championship, because that's what we're following here on Motive, following the British Touring Car Championship as close as we possibly can. British Touring Car being arguably the best championship in the world. Certainly is, in my opinion. What about you, Matt?
It is the best championship. It's the only championship for me to watch. I don't mind the F1,
Indeed.
but the Touring Cars is the pinnacle of motor racing for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've said it before. I don't know a series which has got harder, closer, faster racing than the British Touring Car Championship, and it's going to be very much like that this evening.
It is indeed. We're going to be in for some action-packed, fun-filled 2 races, the sprint and feature race, with a lot of close battles all up and down the grid. We've seen over the last couple of weeks where the drivers have been at times separated in qualifying by less than a second. So it's going to be an absolute thriller this evening, Kelly. And one BMW on the track, no Gary this evening. So
Yep.
Dan, the vocal point of against all these Megans on his own this time. What can he do will be the interesting question. It seems to be a circuit that could suit the BMW a little more. And with rumours of rain around, that could bring the BMW into play like we saw at Donington Park.
Absolutely, we know. Those of you who follow us regularly on Motive and on Simplay know that Dan's some boy in the wet, and the BMW is better in the wet as a touring car. Certainly on this format, anyway. In real life, the BMW is epic as a touring car. On here, it's not quite as good as the Megane in all conditions, but wet weather does suit it. So we'll see when that rain comes a bit later on. If it comes, I'm sure it's going to. So yeah, we'll see if Daniel comes into his own and what he can do. Be interested to watch him because it's just him in the BMW this evening. No Gary this evening. Where is Gary tonight? Do we know?
I had a message from him earlier saying that he wasn't able to make tonight. I don't know if he's running late or not able to make it.
He's probably still got a hangover from his win at Simplay on Thursday night. Yeah. His championship win. He probably would have been celebrating with his team.
That must be why he got 33 seconds worth of penalty on F1 here at Motive on Friday night. But we won't go into that one.
Yeah.
We won't go into that one, Gary. We're only going to lose the constructors to McLaren, Gary. But it's all right, Gary. We'll soldier on.
Listen,
10-minute practice session for you guys for these Tier 1 drivers and Kelly, as they obviously have the reverse grid order in terms of a mandatory formation lap to get into grid order. And I'm just going to run you through the championship standings. It's Laney who leads the way this week by 19 points from John Boy and 27 points ahead of Andy, who didn't have the best of weeks at Silverstone Classic, a DNF and a 5th place in a night which servers was an issue and PlayStation Network was an issue, but a night where Andy didn't capitalise on his results and quite unfortunately had a bit of bad luck not being able to start the first race. Dorore then is P4 with X Martin 5th, the defending champion. Emo Guy sits in P6 with Fury just behind him by 3 points in 7th place, and we said last week how good a drive Fury had in both races around Silverstone Classic. He seemed really good. Gary P8 but not here, with Lodder then in 9th. Dan down in 10th, only a few points behind Gary, so after tonight should become the lead BMW in the championship race, with Nick de Villa P11, WSRCJ in 12th, Lee Gerk in 13th, the Greek 14th, Popeneep in P15, and Avo Alfonso is here tonight and is in P16. And Alfonso only has one finish this year. He's had a DNF, a 12th place, and 4 did not race, so he really needs to score some good points tonight.
Yes, indeed, you're quite right. He does need to score some good points this evening. This is round 4, so this is the halfway point for the championship here at Alton Park Island. We move to Silverstone International next week. So yeah, halfway through. So still all to play for. Still plenty of action and plenty of points to be had. So yeah, it's still all to play for, Matt.
Indeed, it is, and when you've got drivers like Andy and X-Smart, Emo Guy, Dan, Laney, Lauder, John Boy, all quick, serious guys, when you've got these guys on the grid, everybody can take points off of everybody here. And as we've seen in the past couple of weeks, with most of the field separated by a second or just over a second, if not under a second, anybody on their day, like we saw Fury last week, can take points away from them other drivers, making this championship, like in the British Touring Cars in real life, the most exciting championship to look forward to, where you don't really know who's going to win.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we want, is good tight racing for sure. So let's talk a little bit about Alton Park, shall we? Yes, Alton Park Touring Car. Well, I'll start with Matt.
Yeah.
Do you like it or not? From a spectator's point of view and from a driver's point of view,
right.
Give me your thoughts on Alton Park.
Spectator's point of view, I think Alton Park is a fantastic circuit. It's brilliant. It's got a bit of everything. A bit of quick sections, tight sections, tricky sections to get through, and ultimately a lot of places you can overtake around this course. As a driver, can't stand it. Don't like it. Yourself?
Yeah, almost exactly the same. I think the overtaking, it's an old school circuit. It's very narrow. From a driver's point of view, absolutely hate it. Just don't get along with it. Don't seem to be able to get into a flow. To watch, well, as we said before, touring cars are good wherever they go. In my opinion, it's not a classic for me. I enjoy watching it because I enjoy watching touring car, but
it's not one I look at the calendar and go, it's Alton Park. Don't get me wrong, I love like you say, I'm the same as you. I love the touring cars. I'll watch it all the time. When Alton Park's on, I'll still watch it. But it's not one of them circuits that I'll go, yes, we're in for a good one this week. It doesn't make me feel like when you go to Knockhill or Donington or Croft, Thruxton, there's nothing about Alton Park that gets me really excited like them kind of circuits. Whereas,
thank you for putting Scotland on top of your list there. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Ian, because Knockhill, it's the weather that brings it to Knockhill. I think, to be fair, when it's sunny, it can be a bit. Again, it's a bit tight in places.
And the configuration of the track, being such a short track, and the undulations and so on and so forth for Knockhill, which makes it, awfully exciting. But
I don't know about you, Kelly, but for Alton Park, for me, if it was just a bit wider in places, it would make it a bit better for overtaking and things. I mean, you don't get me wrong, you've got to, if you're going to overtake around this circuit, you've got to get the job done. You can't have a half-hearted move around here. It's not wide enough to. If you're going to send one up the inside, you've got to fully commit to it.
And make sure you don't crash into your teammate while doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who'd crash into their teammate while doing so, but nonetheless, while we move on from that comment, if you don't fully commit here, you're going to end up in the side of the person or overshooting the corner or whatever. If it was a little bit wider, probably would create some really nice overtaking pots. This is probably my favourite part of the track where John Boy is here, coming through Druids Corner, down towards Warwick Bridge.
Not for me. See, this is not my favourite part of the track. This is probably the worst bit for me. That corner there is the worst corner for me as a spectator and a fan, because something tragic happened there. But we don't need to go into it. Yes, indeed. So let's have a lap, shall we? We're going into turn one with John Boy. Again, really easy to run wide and go out onto. Oh, that was close, him going out onto the turf. Come down the hill, short little right-hander. This is a tricky left-hander. Back end goes very light, but you've got to keep the momentum because you go back onto what is the back straight, as it were. There's not too many straights. Hard braking into the hairpin. This is where the GP loop goes straight on from there and round. We don't need to talk about that too much. The hairpin, one of the places for overtaking if you get it right. John Boy seems to have backed off it now. I don't know what he's up to. Gives me a bit more time to talk. Just don't go into pitch just yet, John Boy. He's let someone through, so he's obviously not on the hot lap. Come down to this chicane. See, I quite like this chicane now. I think you can attack this. You can just touch up on the curb, not too much. Don't hit that
tyre wall that he hit.
That tyre wall. Yeah. Thank you, John Boy. Where are we? Here we go. No, that's further around the lap.
Here we go, Ian.
Here we go. Ian's just come out of the hairpin, so we'll go on from where we left off. This chicane, as I said, going to tack on the way in. but don't hit that tyre barrier on the way out, because that is solid. That's like rooted to the core of the earth or something, as is the next one here. Don't hit it. Get it close. Don't run out wide and onto the AstroTurf. That's Knickerbrook corner. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Down to see, I hate this bit here. Over the top of the hill, unsighted for the corner, brake like a double apex. First part, then the second part, tuck it in, try not to run wide. Long run down now to the penultimate corner. Good overtaking opportunity, this one. Seen our friend Matt Neal make some good moves down through there, as well as some questionable ones.
This isn't going to be dropped, is it, all night?
Corner. Sorry?
This isn't going to be dropped all night, is it?
No, you're not all night, mate. No.
I've not escaped this, have I?
Daniel started it. No, you started it on the stream earlier, telling me to drive like Matt Neal.
I meant quick, like a 3-time touring car champion. Oosh.
Yeah. See,
hello.
I didn't get that brief.
What's going on here? There's a car doing a disco. As John Boy then is the quickest in the free practice session as we get ready for the lights out for the formation lap, in which is reverse championship order. I will go through that list as I have that list here in front of me, if that's all right with you, Kelly.
I'm perfectly fine with me. I'm perfectly happy about that. Oh, Matt, look at that!
You couldn't.
All of a sudden,
yeah.
Noah has just turned up and he can put some elephants and giraffes in the back of his ship 2x2, because it is hounding it down.
It is absolutely coming down here since the free practice to the race, and that is the good old British weather for you then. And I tell you what, it was a wet race when I'll say it was a wet race when Matt Neal hit Gordon Shedden off. I'm not going to deny it.
Did Matt Neal hit Gordon Shedden?
It did. I don't know if you...
I couldn't imagine a driver that clean hitting somebody. That's unbelievable.
I mean, there's hitting somebody and then there's pelting your teammate into the gravel trap.
And both of you.
And letting your most fierce competitor win the race. I will just say the only comeback is that Matt Neal won the championship that year.
Wow.
But, you know...
There's got to be a silver lining, isn't there?
If I remember right, that was when Plato decided to whinge and moan about, turbo.
Yeah. Unlike Jason to whinge,
it's not like him to have a good old moan. I'm sure he had a good old giggle at the Hondas going off, though, didn't he? Although Matt Neal must have seen a bit of grass in that gravel trap that needed cutting. You always say Honda make a good lawnmower, so he must have been straight in there to mow that bit of grass in the gravel trap while we wait for the drivers to sync up. We've got 13 drivers taking part in this first race. We have lost somebody because there is a space actually on the grid, so I'm not quite sure who we have lost here.
Yes, indeed. Get your comments in on the chat. Not too many people chatting at the moment, so please do get your comments in. Fury's granddad, evening all, good luck. Everyone go Fury. Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly, I don't know if he's watching or listening, but I'd just like a shout out to Kurt. Kurt V, who was in the tier 2s earlier. I had a great battle with him and didn't get an opportunity to thank him for that race. So if you're listening, Kurt, thank you very much. It was a great race.
Left.
Sorry?
Popeneep.
Popeneep left.
So we've lost Popeneep from the grid, so that frees up second place then on the grid order. So it will be Alvaro Alfonso to lead us away on the rolling start. It should have been Popeneep, but it will now be the Greek to start in P2. Vliegert will start in 4th with WSRCJ in P. Sorry, Vliegert will be 3rd. WSRCJ will be 4th. Dan will be in 6th place, that's on Orthodubs. Lauder in P6, Dan will be 5th, sorry. I'm reading the numbers here and forgetting that Popeneep's gone. Fury will be 7th, Emo Guy will be P8, Exmart will be in 10th with Delore 11th, and Delore 10th, Andy 11th, John Boy 12th, and Laney will start P13. So all good at the moment.
Most of them have done that
Alfonso,
already,
the Greek, Vliegert, WSRC, Unorthodox, Lauder, Fury, Emo, Exmart, Delore. Yeah, they're already in order, and we've not even got into Cascades.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? That's good. Well done, guys, isn't it?
Yeah. These boys are so well organised in this. It's brilliant. I remember, and we had this problem on Simplay on Wednesday night. We had a bit of a mass disconnection with the servers. We had to redo it, and our boys at Simplay hadn't ever done this, so we had to sort of explain it to them. And Andy, on commentary at Simplay Wednesday, said about when Matt did the first one in the Tier 1 rerun of the Monza short race a few seasons ago, and nobody knew what was happening because it was the first time they'd done it, and everybody was everywhere, and there was half the grid 6 seconds in front of the second half of the grid, and people that were last that should have been first, and people that were first should have been last, and I'm on commentary like, Okay. Oh, and it's green. We're away. So yeah, we're green now. And yeah, it was a bit of a mess, but it's nice to see that they've got it done before the second corner. Do you want to give us the Knickerbrook fact before we get the race underway?
Yes, the Knickerbrook fact. Yes, indeed. Knickerbrook Corner is called Knickerbrook Corner because there was some demolition work done in that corner. So workmen in that corner, and when they were working and doing some of that, they spied a couple running away from the hedgerow rather quickly, really quickly, and suspiciously running away from that corner. And when they went over to investigate, there was a pair of ladies' underwear, a pair of ladies' knickers were left there in the hedgerow, just there in the brook. So it got called Knickerbrook Corner.
And that is
family friendly.
That is one of the best facts
It's more
I've heard
family
all year.
friendly than Ant and Dec, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, well, that's the true fact, and that's the Knickerbrook fact. As we're just about ready to go here, aren't we?
We are. We're just coming through the final corner, Lodge Corner, and down in towards Deer Leap we go. And Avo Alfonso will take us across the line. When does he choose to go? He controls the pace up until the start line. Nobody can overtake.
No,
and there's a spinner. Oh, that's X-Mart who's had a bit of a spin. And someone has stopped. That's Delore who stopped to wait for him. Have they had a tap? We're green here, though, at Alton Park Island. Avo Alfonso is away. And these tricky wet conditions proving already on the parade lap to catch a few people out here.
Yes, indeed.
And
And,
to the back.
Oh, Fury!
oh, we lost someone else.
Who's that? Is that
Fury in
Ian?
the
Is that
background?
that's either Ian or Fury? And that's Dan and Vliegek.
Clark,
I think it was Vlie having a bit of a problem. Fury has put Emo Guy into the wall as well, coming down towards Cascades, and Vlie there got all out of shape and caught up with Dan into turn one. But here comes Andy up the inside of Fury in towards the island bend. Fury goes very deep and is so wide. He's going to lose a handful of positions there. Easy to do so, especially in the wet. Hard to pick up the braking points. But Jay leads this race. What's happened to Alfonso? He's dropped down the order, so not a bit of a topsy-turvy start for some of these drivers.
Yes, indeed, a little bit messy there off of the grid. A bit of bumping and shoving, as we know. X-Mart went sideways before they'd even started. All a bit. I think Jensen Button did that years ago, and certainly. But anyway, a bit of a scruffy start for X-Mart for whatever reason, but WSR Jay out in front at the moment and pulling away from the rest of the pack by.
Oh, there's someone else.
See someone else in the background. Who's that?
That is,
who was that?
That's Lodder who's just gone off. I've just seen him drop in some positions. So Lodder drops down the order as Emo Guy's looking for a move up the inside on Andy as the cameraman fails to recognise that Andy's there, and now he does.
Wide.
Yeah, Andy a bit deep into that corner. That could be a slowdown penalty there. Kelly, it's easy to run over the curbs as look at Fury now, Hassel in the back of Laney then into turn one, in towards Old Hall corner. I think Fury got that one done then. Yes, he has. He's ahead of Laney. And these really are testing conditions for these drivers at the minute. And who was that?
Guy touched Andy? No, who was it?
No, I think it was the Greek. The Greeks dropped down a few places. Yeah, and
Emo Guy and the Greek came together. All very close racing. I don't know if we're going to have so many slowdowns penalties in the wet. The Tier 2s had some horrendous penalty, with myself probably claiming the most penalties at 26 seconds or something like that. The slowdowns, the track limits are very strict here, but we know in wet conditions that is...
the boundaries kind of get pushed out a bit, don't they, for the wet conditions?
Get wavered a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, as Laney, championship leader, Hassel in the back of Fury in towards the Hislop chicane, and through Knickerbrook they all go for the second time out racing speed. Poor old Dan down in P12 at the moment, and he's got work to do back from the back of the grid in that BMW after his incident at Cascades on lap 1.
Yes, indeed, he's got a lot to do. He's in 12th. We'll see how that pans out for him as the race goes on.
WSR CJ here has got a bit of a lead here. He's got a second lead towards Andy, and he's done that really by staying out of trouble, making sure he's driving his race, and everybody else sort of having problems around him. He's managed to get a decent lead at the moment, but he's got Andy who'll be hungry to make up for his loss at Silverstone last week, or at our Thruxton replacement last week. Andy will want to make sure he gets a good pair of results tonight, Kelly, so he's going to be hassling the back of WSR CJ's McGann in a short time, but he's taking John Boy with him.
Yes, indeed, and he's first man to have a penalty. I don't think he's going to be the last. As I said, I don't think there'll be as many as the Tier 2s, but there definitely will be some. And Andy with the first one. But as I said, I'm expecting more and more, so watch this space. But Andy back within, really close now on the back of WSRJ, and bringing John Boy along for close company.
He is indeed. Laney was very wide at the hairpin corner just a moment ago. As Ian's had a problem. He's dropped down to P10, down to P11 now. So Emo Guy's dropping down the order here, and it's Jay from Andy from John Boy, and Dan now just behind. A flash of the lights from Dan there, just behind Emo Guy, and these conditions are horrendous at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. It is persisting down out there at Alton Park. We'll probably see the rivers of water start to build as we go on through this race. Another 17.5 minutes to go. But you'll see the water build really quickly as these front three are so close together. Still anybody's race. Andy having a look down. Is he going to go all the way round there? He's going to get round there.
No, he's gone too deep.
Very wide.
And he's lost out to John Boy. He's going to lose out to Fury as well. He might just hang on to Laney.
Laney's going to go round him as well, you know.
He is, yeah. He's going to have the inside line. And John Boy's going for the lead up the inside and towards Old Hall corner. There's Laney up the inside of Andy into Old Hall as well. So the lead changes, and as well as that, Andy drops from P2 all the way down to here. And these front 5 cars separated by just over a second. It's a cracking little battle, and this is what the touring car is all about, Kelly. These guys being in such close quarters like this, that at any moment anybody can make a move on the guys in front of you.
And that's the kind of racing we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't need a parade. We need good fighting action. As you see, Jay going very deep into the hairpin. It's going to put Fury going well. Look,
Fury got a heck of a run.
He's going to have a crack at Jay. He's going to have the inside line for the chicane when they get down here. Is he going to be able to translate that now? Brakes a little bit earlier, lets Jay go a little bit, really.
Surprised at that one, so he had the inside line of the corner. I'm surprised he let Jay have that corner a bit relatively easy.
Yeah, I would have braked a bit later and taken track position, even if I did hold him up a little bit, you know.
You're not going to attack him. You're not going to pass him through here, Fury. You're better off to stay behind. And Laney's going to have a look on the back of Fury. Touches the grass. I was saying that Fury shouldn't have a look at Jay, but Laney was having a look at Fury then. He touched the grass a bit there, got a bit of a wiggle on, and that's allowed Andy to have a run. Look at Fury's run at the final bend. And him and Jay just lean on each other slightly. Jay touches the grass and under the brakes, could not get it stopped in time, but he's not lost a great deal of time there. He's lost 2 places subsequently because of that one, but he's still on the back of Andy as they come up through Deer Leap towards Old Hall corner to start the 5th lap of this race.
Yes, indeed, and John Boy looks like he's checked out a little bit now. 2 seconds ahead, managing to, in clear air and not in a spray, is managing to pull away from Fury a little bit. Fury's got Laney right up behind him. That's got to be...
Laney's on the grass. Laney's on the grass. He'll be round there. That'll be... Yeah, he's round. I think he's lost the rear of that car. Yeah, he's nowhere in sight, so Laney has lost the rear. There he is, look, pops back on the circuit. You do not want to run wide at Cascades, especially in the wet, because it's a tricky corner in the dries. Fury has gone very deep at the hairpin, and Andy will come through to take that one. Can Fury get that one back as they're going to run down up over the hill, and then you drop downhill straight after as you head towards the Hislop chicane, and it's Fury who's going to be on the inside now. Is he going to be braver this time around? Like Kelly says, brake later, and I think he's got that done. Andy, he's done well to keep it on the outside.
Andy's muscled through.
He has. He's done well as Andy there. Fury again just needs to get a bit braver on the brakes. But going back to Laney there, Kelly, you cannot run wide at Cascades in the dry, never mind the wet. The minute you touch the grass, it's game over.
Absolutely, and now we can see that that's put Laney right off the back of this for a minute, so he's got some work to do. But you're quite right, Cascades there, if you go wide, you're wide forever, you know. So it seems forever before you can get yourself back on the track. So Laney with it all to do. Fury having another look at Andy, having another look at it, but not close enough at the moment to make anything stick. Fury seems to have a couple of nicer lines at some of the last corners there, and be able to get on the traction a little bit quicker than his opponents. So I've noticed. We'll see if he continues to do that.
Oh, he's having a late look.
Andy
was a bit deep there, wasn't he, Kelly? And Fury, it allowed Fury for a second to just have a look up the inside and have a bit of a sniff.
Yes, indeed. But I'm going to go pop back further back down the track because there's a big battle going on here. We've got Dan, Emo Guy, Alfonso, the Greek, Exmar, all in this one, all separated very, very close. Both Dan and Emo Guy on recovery drives. They've had their fair share of incidents, and both on recovery drives.
Alfonso! That was very naughty from Alfonso. Just didn't seem to get the car stopped and ploughed straight into the back of Emo Guy there. Alfonso did not get that one stopped in time. Was a bit too late on the brakes for my liking there. And that's going to allow Dan to have a run at Emo Guy in towards the Hislop chicane. And Dan, Emo Guy gets that one covered off. Dan has to settle in back in P10.
Yes, indeed. As you say, that was a little bit clumsy by Alfonso. That was far too late on the brakes. But look at Emo Guy now having a crack at the Greek. He's going to go down the inside. No, going to go. Oh, they come together as well.
Yeah.
They hit each other and go right. Daniel has opportunity to go past the two of them. Dan seems to be picking up spots. Just by other people's mistakes at the moment.
He does at the moment, and poor Ian, seems to be getting bullied out of these positions at the moment. He keeps seeming to be getting barged or bumped or tapped at places. He's had a moment with Fury, now the Greek, and Avo Alfonso as well. But Dan up into P8, and Kurt in the chat. Hi, Matt from Simplay. Love your commentating. Love art, love art. Well, thank you.
What's the matter with mine?
Yeah, what's the matter with Kelly's, Kurt?
What's the matter with my commentating?
Yeah.
Is it not as good as Matt's?
What's the matter with Kelly's?
I feel really quite hurt.
Yeah.
You know, is mine inferior to Matt's?
Tell Kelly you love his commentating as well. Otherwise, I'm done. Yeah. We'll go on strike.
I'm leaving. You know,
I'll strike with you. Don't you worry about that one. As Fury is still on the back of Andy here, and he's really hassling the back of this Renault Megane. But don't forget, Andy's got a time penalty, so Fury doesn't need to necessarily fight him here, unless Fury feels he's got the pace to get on the back of John Boy, who's checked out 5.5 seconds up the road here. Andy only has the 1 second to his name. But with 11 and 3/4 minutes to go. Fury again, carrying that momentum, and I said this last week on here, Kelly. Fury's got to carry that momentum now forward from his good job at Silverstone last week. He's doing just that.
Yeah, we commented very much so on his improvement in driving in the last couple of races. It seems to be he's in a strong, solid third place and hassling the back of Andy. And Andy's no slouch, we know that. Andy's a quick boy, so Fury keeping it honest.
He's having a look.
Do you see what I mean about that inside line that he keeps finding? Not quite able to make that.
No, but what he's done here, though, Kelly, is he's got a great run, and Andy's trying to cover him off, but he can't come over anymore because Fury's here. Can he get it done in towards Old Hall Corner? Easy corner to run wide on, and Fury slots up into P2. Thank you very much.
Move, Fury.
Yeah, left the door open, got the traction out the corner, and got the run down the start straight. And Fury, good value for his money here so far.
Absolutely, Fury driving a cracker at the moment. As I said, he started finding that line, an inside line, and getting a bit of traction, a bit of momentum over the guys in front of him. So, as I said, keep an eye on that. See if he uses it again. He keeps it nice and tight around the hairpin this time, because he has been known to go a bit wide there. Andy and Laney right in his mirrors. There's two guys that I don't want in my mirrors, to be fair. So he's got the pressure on for sure.
Let's see how he deals with this pressure. And again, I go back to Brands Hatch with Fury. Fury seemed to defend. Didn't seem to have the out-and-out pace at Brands Hatch opening round of the season, but seemed to defend really well over 5 or 6 cars while they made the mistakes. Here, though, Fury looks to have a bit of pace in the wet weather, and has looked, he started to gap Andy just a little bit here. So Fury looking good value for his money at the moment. What can he do on the race leader? Laney was as quick as John Boy out front last time around, but he's not going to be now. He's on the back of Andy here. Then Dan as well, lapping as quick as the leader in the 31s, but down in P8. He's on the back of Lauder at the moment, but at the minute this is Fury, Andy and Laney for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and Fury just starting to edge a bit more of a gap as we drop back to Dan now with X-Mart and Lauder just in front of him, Kelly.
Yes, indeed. And just going to the comments, Kurt said, Matt, your voice is like honey. Okay, get a room, you two. Kelly is like custard. What? Thick and yellow? What? You know? I don't know really where Kurt's going with all this.
No, I don't know where Kurt's going with this. G saying that Dan needs fuel.
Yeah, again.
Yeah. But here is Dan. He's just doing what he needs to. X-Mart looks like he's just rejoined from going over the AstroTurf there, and he's subsequently going to have... Lauder's he's being brave, having a look around the outside at Cascades. Cascades is probably the one corner on this track that you're not going to make a manoeuvre, or you're not going to get a pass done there unless the car is so wide. It's just not going to happen. As here is X-Mart looking up the inside of Lauder into the hairpin, and he breaks a bit late, and it's both... Yeah, easily done. Dan can't get the traction down. Looked like he got a bit wiggly on the rear end. And Dan's coming across X-Mart. But X-Mart's there, so Dan's got nowhere to go. They both keep it clean and manage to keep it pointed in the right direction. But Dan then P8 to P6 within one corner.
Yes, indeed. Both those guys went wide. Xmart and Lauder went very wide as they were struggling on each other, and Dan just rolled right round the apex and got it done just about. Fury still out holding his own, you know, out and starting to
what's happened to Laney? Laney's dropped well off the back. He was on the back of Andy, wasn't he? Last time we saw him, he's dropped well off the back now. Laney seems to... He's a quick driver, is Laney. We know Laney's... He's got some pace as a young lad, but he seems to make 1 or 2 mistakes here in the wet tonight that's just cost him a fair few seconds, and he's got all that work that he's done to do again here as Fury is gapping Andy. The gap's about 1.5 seconds now, so Fury doing a heck of a job so far.
Yes, absolutely. And then just dropping back to the comments. The only G after Kelly's like custard. The only G, sticky and sweet. Oh, love you, G. Yeah, that's more like, isn't it? You know, sticky and sweet.
That's what they call us. That's our nickname. That's our nickname, isn't it, in the commentary booth? Sticky and sweet.
Sticky and sweet.
Yeah.
Which do you want to be?
Sweet.
Sweet. Sticky. I don't know if I like that now. Oh, well, I tell you what, you know, in my daytime job, I'm a fiberglass laminator, and in the marine world they do call us stickies.
So there you go then.
So maybe that is an apt nickname is Sticky, because maybe, I don't know. Well, yeah, we digress.
We'll work at it over the season.
Yeah.
Here's Laney. He had P4 135 last time around, so he lost 3 seconds last lap to Andy, so clearly a problem somewhere on that track for him. John Boy in the 131's the only man on the last lap in the 131, so really lapping well. Fury though 7/10 quicker than Andy as Delore here on the back of Lauder. This for P7 here, and Delore trying to have a look up in towards Druids, but he's not going to get the move done there. He's a bit too far back, and can he set him up for Old Hall? And in fact he's not going to need to set him up for Lodge, because Lodge has ran wide.
Yeah, indeed. What happened to Xmart? Xmart was right there with Lauder
he's down in P10.
Dan and all the rest of it. He's gone backwards. We didn't see.
Hairpin, sorry.
Went off at the hairpin, so must have ran deep at the hairpin.
There you go.
From our in-race reporter, Emo guy. Then here's the Greek with a bumper that's bouncing off. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? All the gadgets and technology people we need.
You don't get that in Formula One, do you?
No, you don't
get real time with a driver.
No,
you might do in touring car. Well, before and after the races, but not during.
Yeah, not during. Too much pressure. No. But here goes Dan. He's having a look on WSRC, who's got himself a time penalty here. And Dan looking for a top 5 after what was a poor opening lap, and he's trying to keep it tight. But WSRC, it's so easy to defend into that hairpin corner, and Jay does just that and comes. Now you see, for me there, he's already made the mistake there. He's done all the hard work in the hairpin, and he's got a bit slower out the hairpin to come across and cover the left-hand side, when he'd just be better off getting the power out the corner and slowly drift across to that. Yeah, just slowly drift across to that left. Instead, he's lost more time slowing down out the exit of the hairpin, and Dan's got the run on him up over the hill, and away goes that BMW. P5 for Unorthodox now, 6 seconds off the back of Laney, and we know Laney's got a mistake in him. Well, Laney's got a mistake in him, hasn't he? 5 minutes left. He's made 2 mistakes in this race as Laney. So is there another one in him? Yeah, I mean, look at Dan and Laney's last lap times, identical.
Yes. Dan's got a bit of work to do to get onto the back of Laney now before the end of this race. Laney, of course, close with Andy, and these two could have a bit of a kerfuffle as well. This is helping Fury, of course. Andy looking more in his mirrors instead of going forward, because Laney's a man you need to defend from. So Andy will be more concerned with what's going on with Laney and holding on to that podium position than he is going after Fury, which I say gives Fury a bit of a breathing space. John Boy out in front, checked out, 11 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he's had a race that he's needed. He got in front and he checked out then, didn't he? Didn't need to push too hard and risk his race in the wet. Kurt in the chat saying congrats to Vlee, became a dad for the 2nd time. So massive congratulations then to Vlee. As Andy has gone so deep at the hairpin then that he's allowed Laney up the inside. Then as Andy went so deep, Kelly, into that hairpin corner.
Yeah. I was actually looking at the comments and didn't actually say, so I'm just going to look on the stream now. Yes, Andy did go extremely deep into that corner, and Laney capitalised on that a treat. Yes, Kurt's saying congratulations to Vikla being a dad for the 2nd time. That's the Kurt I was driving against, Kurt V. Thank you for a good race, Kurt, in Tier 2. Thoroughly enjoyed it. This is where he'll turn around and say you were driving like an idiot. Don't get in my way again.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah. Driving like a bit of a Jason Plato move.
Not that bad.
Is
I'd like
Andy...
to have his race wins.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think everybody would
Absolutely.
like to have his race wins. Most British race wins in the British Touring Car Championship. So
Yeah, most race wins of any driver except Lewis Hamilton now, I believe.
Yeah.
Of any driver ever.
Yeah,
Apart from Lewis Hamilton.
I think your driving style was more towards Mazepin.
Oh.
I didn't hear that. I didn't catch that.
He says he thinks your driving style was a bit more towards Mazepin. In regards
really?
to probably
Okay,
off-track more
I couldn't
times than
understand
on-track.
that. I couldn't understand that because I don't speak that much North. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't understand the words Emo Guy was saying on that one. So I apologise there, Emo Guy. Concentrate on racing because you're only in 11th.
What?
Oh, you've got to love the banter.
Well,
Laney
goes
here.
around, comes around, man.
Laney
Do you know what I mean?
here.
Goes around, comes around.
Hey, we know that better than anybody in the commentary box. Me and you together all season, no matter what we're commentating on. With the banter's ebbs and flows all night. Laney here has ditched Andy and has gone, do you know what? I fancy a piece of Fury at the end of this race. But I tell you, who else fancies a piece of... Oh, he's got Fury. Fury's made his one mistake. He's one mistake. Oh, he's caught Laney.
Oh, he just made contact as Fury was just recovering slightly, just nudged the back end of Laney, but there doesn't seem to be any harm done there.
No.
But I think Laney will check out now. Oh no!
Oh no! I say that. I said Laney's got another mistake in him. And Kelly, look who's in the background with one.
Look who is
two,
in the background.
And there'll be an extra lap after this. John Boy is on lap 15. They will get 2 more laps in. Tell you what, these three keep tussling like this. Someone could be on for a podium. And again, the BMW proving that in the wet, it is a machine to be had. But so far, Fury then made his mistake. He's been giving it back through Laney going wide at Druid's Corner. And I said, Laney's got another mistake in him somewhere. Maybe not a big one, but yeah.
Yes, indeed. That's put Laney on the back foot again. He's got Andy right in close company again with him, and it gives Fury a bit of breathing space again. Is Fury going to secure that second place? I think he's got a good chance here, but it seems to be every time I make any kind of prediction, it all changes. So I'm not going to bother anymore. Let's just see what happens.
As is the power of we have in the commentary box, and the worst one for it is the man you've got on screen, Andy. Oh, what's he done? What's he done? I didn't quite see that.
Laney went wide. But Andy made a bit of a mess of the apex as well. But Dan reeling them in, look, really close now.
He really is, and there will be an extra lap here. John Boy will cross the line to get one more lap in here then, and Dan really must fancy his chances on the back. He's in the 130s. I've not seen anybody in the 130s this race, so Dan flying at the moment in the 130.9. That surely will be the fastest lap of this race, depending on what happens in the final stages. But he's obviously sniffed a podium here and has pushed hard. Now look, Andy, time penalty. Laney, time penalty. Dan could be on the podium without even have to make an overtake here. But at the moment, it's Fury second, Laney third, Andy fourth, Dan in fifth, and Laney and Andy just seem to be pushing that Megane a bit too hard and are just making 1 or 2 mistakes.
Yes, indeed, and Rainmeister is out again, isn't he? In that BMW, we know how good Daniel is in the wet conditions, and he certainly proved it. Was dead last at one point. Now up in 5th place, and you know he can see the podium. He can see up to 2nd place. To be fair. I think that's a push too far. But is Dan going to make a move, or is he just going to...
Well, Andy's wide. Oh, he's had a bit of a wiggle.
Very wide.
And that's the only time you're going to overtake it, Cascades. But the thing is Andy managed to straighten it up and keep it pointing in the right direction. And unless Dan can get in front of Andy, Andy should have that inside line into the hairpin corner. And Dan very wisely... Oh, Andy gone a bit deep. It's not caught Dan out too much here. And Dan can't get the power out the corner, get the traction out the corner to get a run on Andy towards his laps.
I think Dan knew that always that Andy was going to defend that, and even if he had track position, did exactly what he said, just kept on the brakes. Oh look, as Andy and Dan go at it again. Andy's still got track position as he goes as they come towards Knickerbrook.
Dan wants to get past Andy here to get back on the back of Laney. He doesn't want to lose too much time if Laney has that time penalty, and if it's only a second or two, Dan will not get a podium. But this man here, Kelly, has been absolutely fantastic in this one. It's going to be a sprint race victory for John Boy here in the wet at Alton Park. Nice and easy for him, and the battle for second rolls on here. Fury looks like he's going to hang on due to Laney's penalties. So what a smart drive from Fury. He's drove really well again here for a P2. Now, has Laney done enough to gap Dan and keep ahead of of him on the penalties. Fury's going to cross the line second. Laney will cross the line third. Andy will cross the line fourth, but waits for Dan. Only gets P4, so lost out on the podium, fighting Andy too hard at the end. So fourth for Unorthodox, fifth for Andy. WSRCJ is going to come home to take a sixth place, with Delore coming in seventh. Lauder looks like he's going to take a P8. A bit sprung out here, aren't they, at the back? The Greek will take ninth. Xmark's going to take 10th. With Emo Guy, looks like he's going to cross the line P11 whenever the cameraman thinks I'll pick him up. There we go. So Emo Guy's going to take P11. Vlee is going to take P12. Oh, or is he? He's only got 5 seconds to Alfonso.
He's playing in the sandpit. He is getting ready to play with his second child in the sandpit.
I'll tell you what he's done there. He's gone, I'll tell you what, I'll show the viewers where Matt Neal went off. And there we go, look. That's where Matt went. As Vlee finishes P12 and Alfonso will cross the line P13. And he's not having a very good season at the moment. But Dan, good drive from him, good recovery drive, and he did take the fastest lap of this one, the only man in the 1:30s. John Boy, though, your race winner from Fury and Laney, with Dan P4. Great recovery drive. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just a moment. We're out.
Cool.
Sounds like we've got music off the old Taka 2 game, this. Yes.
I can't hear it very well, to be fair. I'm just reading the comments back. There's about, I don't know, about a dozen Kurts in there now.
Oh, the music's just changed. We've just had a stung start and then that's it.
Yes.
A dry race 2, 26 laps. Come on, Dan.
Maybe about lap 10 or something like that.
You've ate all the chocolate though, haven't you, woman? You have it all the chocolate.
A woman eating all the chocolate, what else is new?
Sorted it, Beth?
Wouldn't believe, would it?
No, you really wouldn't.
Is Beth even watching? Gary's not playing.
No, of course Beth's not watching. Gary's not here.
Oh, she's not watching. She's watching Coronation Street or something, isn't she?
Nah, she's doing her hair. She's dyeing her hair.
Ah, yeah. I've got to do mine later.
Oh, yeah.
Like going for pink?
Well, actually, to have some hair would be nice here.
Kelly.
I'll save some of mine off.
Can I have a coffee, please, babe?
I'm angry.
Of course you can, sweetheart.
Why are you angry?
You did fucking better than me, Dan. You can't say fuck all.
Liga took me out lap 1.
You can't blame him, he's a new dad. But he did, you're right.
That's no excuse.
I never got stuck behind douchebag emo guy for fuck knows how long.
Oh,
Shut
mate,
the
he's a
fuck
pain,
up.
that guy, isn't he?
You did rejoin a bit sketchy, mate.
Hey, I had the time. I had the time, and I had the space.
Anyway, still.
Good recovery,
I had
Dan.
great pace. Yeah, it annoyed me. The whole point in these wet races is so I can have a chance of taking race wins. But if I get taken out lap 1, then what's the fucking point?
Oh, that got fucking Alfonso pissed me off royally.
Anyway, right, you guys ready to go?
Yeah, ready when you are. Yeah,
I
Alfonso
was born ready.
Alfonso did tough dive bomb you into the hairpin.
Oh, don't. Fuck.
Yeah, we saw that one.
Dan just sailed past both on you.
Horrible, man. It was horrible. Honestly, if we weren't on stream, I would have been swearing like fucking Gordon Ramsay, honestly. Fucking
Yeah, he's
idiot
Scottish as
savage.
well, isn't he?
No idea.
I believe so.
Never spoke to the boy.
Not as Scottish as you are, Emo.
Huh?
Well,
Not as Scottish as you are.
No.
You can't really get much more Scottish than the West Coast.
No. Well, can't get much more Scottish than you. I've got a couple of friends. I've got a couple of friends who are Scottish. Their accent is as heavy as yours is.
Oh God. I think I need a fag after that one. It's definitely deserved.
My missus just getting me a large vodka.
Oh.
And more chocolate. More chocolate.
I've got 500 milliliters of Einbrow.
Of course you have.
More than that.
Of course you have. That and haggis.
I hate haggis.
And that and a set of bagpipes. I hate bagpipes.
Well, I hate you, so I don't really see the difference.
Well, there you go. I tell you what, Emo guy. Do you know what I love about you? Fuck all.
But that's the difference between me and you. You know, hair.
Gotta love the banter.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's what keeps things interesting.
For sure. Oh, Fury's crashed already.
We're back live then, ladies and gentlemen, and you've missed a great off-air sort of bit of banter between the Scotsman and the Southernman. And like always,
different ends of the country.
Like always, me from the Midlands, I sat in the middle and kept quiet. As Fury has had a massive off here at the beginning of qualifying, then, and he's rejoined at Cascades Corner. As we are here, 50-minute qualifying. Then the weather, typical British fashion, the sun's out.
Yeah, look at that. Within a minute, it's dried out perfectly. It's an absolute bone-dry track. Look at that. The virtual world, you've got to love it. Yes, welcome back to the 14 people watching, and I believe half of them are called Kurt this evening.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be about 15 Kurts.
We've got Fury's granddad, Kurt, G, Kurt, another Kurt, some more Kurts, and Fury's mum. So, and
more Kurts
Lightblade.
than the Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
So, welcome back, everyone, and all the Kurts. So, 15-minute qualifying session for this feature race. We're back dry. Predictions now, Matt. Who's going to be quick in the dry?
Well, I'm going to keep my eyes on Fury because I think Fury's going to be one to watch. But
not for the exit he had to the pits, he isn't.
Well, yeah, if it was based on the exit he had there, it's not Fury. But I'm going to keep my eyes on Fury. But Laney, Andy, I think could be ones as well. I'm going to say this: the BMW, I think the track suits the BMW a bit more than we've seen last week at Silverstone, so we'll keep our eye on what Dan can do. Lightblade says, loving the tunes. Well, if you love the tunes, stay tuned, because you get to listen to me and Kelly ramble on for the next good half an hour or so, and that's even better than the music, with the occasional word from our in-race reporter, Emo Guy. And Fury's granddad says, we heard that, Kelly.
I must just say I do really like Emo Guy, and if you may have heard something inappropriate on the stream, I do apologise. I do apologise again. It always seems to be me. It seems to be me and Anton Deck who are always in trouble at the moment. So apologies about that. I do love Ian very much so. And we are very opposite ends of the country. Where are you, Ian, in the country? I know you're in Scotland, but whereabouts in Scotland?
South Ayrshire on the west coast.
South Ayrshire on the west coast, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, So it means nothing to me. I know it's up north, you know. And me, I'm Cornwall, Redruth in Cornwall, which is way down west. So different ends of the country. And as you said, Matt, right in the middle there in the Midlands.
Yeah, Robin Hood country, Nottinghamshire. Robin Hood country.
Yeah.
So
merry men and all that.
Yeah. We are the merry men. We could be Robin Hood's merry men sat in this commentary box right now. Could you imagine that? That'd be brilliant.
Absolutely. I don't know about the tights myself, but no.
We'll be a 21st century. We'll skip the tights.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something Prolapse would do was wear green tights, but not too many comments from the Prolapse guys this evening. Where are they all?
quiet tonight to the Team Prolapse boys. Not seen a rainbow in the chat, and yet Fury had a good race, and Dan had a decent race, and there's no comments in the chat. Obviously, Laney there, boy, for Team Prolapse on the podium, so nothing from them. We'll see if they pop up shortly or for this feature race. Then, as there is just over 10 minutes left in qualifying, and Laney in the 24s. So good pace being shown
at the moment, but I'm sure there'll be more people in the 24s, aren't you, Matt?
There'll be a lot more, and I reckon we'll be seeing a 23.
Yeah, I think we'll see a high 23 from somebody.
Yeah.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? You have the stats on the touring car record, do you not?
I do have the stats. So it's 12 corners here at the Alton Park Island Circuit, 2.23 mile long track. First British Touring Car Championship race here was in 1960. So many moons ago, when I wasn't even thought of. That's
Me
how
neither.
long. Yeah.
That's how old that is.
That's how long ago that was. But the qualifying lap record around here is a 1:25.4. So Laney already a second quicker than that by some bloke named Jason Plato in 2015. Never heard of him. He had an average speed of 93.74 miles per hour. For you stat lovers out there.
Which car was that in? Do we know?
2015.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm googling it.
I'm
on this. I'm on this.
I'm hoping you're going to say Seat Leon.
No, 2015. Too late for the Seat. Was 2015.
Yeah, it could be.
Jason Plato, and we'll use that very trusted website Wikipedia. Was in the team.
Laney has a grid, one penalty.
Oh, he does. Yeah, Laney does have a grid penalty.
He's got a grid penalty. Oh, well, there you go.
He was in the TMBMR car, so I imagine then the VW Passat holds the record around here then. So yeah,
that's amazing.
VW Passat in qualifying.
The Passat's been reasonably rubbish ever since, hasn't it?
It has been rubbish ever since. Obviously, Team BMR brought it in with Plato and. Turkington had a year, I believe so.
Turkington in a front-wheel drive, which was a bit bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, Turkington, Plato, Aaron Smith and Warren Scott for Team BMR.
That's right.
He took 6 wins during that year and missed out on the title by 4 points.
Am I right in saying Warren Scott's the team owner, wasn't he?
Team owner, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Used to jump in and drive around at the back a little bit. Bit like my touring car career, actually.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
2015 was the year for all you touring car lovers out there. Plato missed out on the points by 4 points. Missed out on the title by 4 points, as well as taking 6 wins that year. And it was the year that Gordon Shedden won his second championship in the touring cars. Yeah. Just had to get that one in there because it was a Honda.
It was, and
I tell you something. I remember this one as well. Sorry, Kelly. I'll tell you something. Shedden came from the back of the grid to drive through to get, I think, about a 5th or 6th place. So he went past 20 odd cars to win that title in that race. Brilliant drive from Gordon Shedden. If anybody wants to watch it, Brands Hatch GP, last round of the season, Gordon Shedden, race 3. Fantastic drive from him.
Do you know, it's Gordon Shedden is an epic driver. He really is a fantastic touring car driver.
So good to see him back this year, I think.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to that. And you know that thing where there's someone you really like and they're really good and you want to cheer them on, but they're in the most terrible team with the worst car with the most idiotic teammate.
Yeah,
it was torture for me.
I know. Dan Lloyd this year, he's in that Vauxhall in that Power Max car with Plato as a teammate. It's terrible, isn't it?
It's terrible, yeah. As Dan goes third place in the BMW. So
look at how many people are.
Work a little bit.
We said this in qualifying in the free practice. Top 10 separated by 8 tenths of a second, should I say? Top 7 are separated by 4 tenths. Everybody all the top 7s in the 24s here. Laney, obviously with his grid penalty, will start 3rd now. As Emo Guy's just banged in a 24.5, so he's just got in front of Dan by 24 thousandths of a second.
Andy, this man, the quickest man on the track, he's in the 24.4s as he comes over the line. Don't know if he's going to improve it. Yeah, not yet. Still 6 minutes to go in this session, so still plenty of time to bang those times in. That's why he didn't go any faster, because I was watching the wrong guy. Andy's coming out of the pit. So
do you want the race record from Colin Turkington?
You go on, let's have it.
Colin Turkington set the race record around Alton Park in 2019 at an average speed of 92.6, so he was 1 mile per hour slower than Plato's average miles per hour, but it was a 26.2 on the race pace. Now that's not bad race pace, but when you consider that Jason Plato's the qualifying lap record from Plato would only get him P11 at the moment, Colin Turkington's fastest lap in the race would get him P12. P13 if Plato was on the grid in P11, so to be P13 and P11. So how good? That's how good these guys are over Jason Plato. To be fair, if it was Matt Neal's record, it wouldn't be touched. But you know,
it would be touched.
Matt Neal's record. Dear. No one's hit each other off at the final corner yet, so Matt Neal's record still stands.
Yes. Matt Neal's record for being the most clumsiest person with his teammate still stands. You're quite right.
Yeah.
Just incidentally, the overall lap record on this island circuit is a 1:18.5 from Tom Blomqvist. Blomqvist, yeah. 2010 that was done in a Formula Renault, so single seater, obviously a little bit more planted than these touring cars as well. So 1:18. So that was going well, wasn't it?
It was going well, and he'd have given it some in that. I tell you now, because that would have been on edge a bit there. I imagine, obviously not as much downforce as you see with the Formula 1 cars or the Formula 2 cars on the Formula Renaults, but heck of a lap time to be 6 seconds quicker than a touring car. Obviously, a lot quicker cars, but a lot more fragile, that is for sure. Then, as we're on board with John Boy, the race 1 winner, the sprint race winner, down in P7 at the minute, but he only needs 3.5 tenths to get himself onto the front row. Now, a minute ago, the top 7 were separated by 4 tenths. The top 10 are now separated by 4 tenths. The top 11 are only separated by near enough 7 tenths of a second. That is how tight this grid really is here. It is that close. I mean, look at 3rd, 4th and 5th. Emo, Guy, Delore and Dan, you know, all separated by 24 2 100ths of a second, 24 thousandths of a second, and it's that close.
Yes, it is that close indeed. And I was about to say that John Boy's obviously struggling, but he's 3.5 tenths off the pace, so he's obviously not struggling. It just is that close, and all the way up to 10th place now in the 124s. First man just out of the 124s is race 1 podium second place man. It's that unmovable tyre wall. That is unmovable. God himself couldn't move that. So don't try and bash it with a touring car.
And when you see them on the touring cars in real life, and they'll just clatter that, and it'll be some foam that'll go flying everywhere and make a horrible mess on the track, and you'll see all the marshals running across to pick it up and put it back in place, and you think, why are you putting it back in place?
Why are you bothering?
They're going to hit it again. These ones don't move. Like, your car will bounce further off that tyre wall on the game than what it will in real life.
If we had JCBs to race in, they still wouldn't move it. You know, it is a permanent structure completely. And and I mean, we've seen it at Croft, isn't it? Croft and Knockhill, where they knock the temporary bollards over, and then the marshals replace them for them to come round and knock them over again.
Do you know something I do with my kids every year? We play a little game. So we go to Donington Park every year to watch the touring cars, and we play a little game, and we say, "Go on then. Which sign's going to foot?" Because we sit on the infield, we sit down the Craner curves, and get to see them come down the Craners round Old Hairpin and up towards McLean's. We say, "Go on then, which one of these signs is going to get knocked over first?" We play a little game every year, and then every time at the end of the race they'll go and stand the sign back up, and I just think, you are wasting your time
completely.
That sign will be gone in more ways than one by the end of that weekend. Do not bother standing it back up.
Yes, indeed, and but hey, they've all got their jobs to do. What a great job the marshals do. Without them, we couldn't go motor racing, and they're all voluntary. So if they're happy keeping placing those signs and bollards, then on you go, boys, isn't it?
Indeed, that is to be the case. Just looking at a few things here on the corner names as to why some of these names are called what they are around this track. Obviously, we know the Knickerbrook one. We've got one for Old Hall here, named after Alton Hall, which originally stood at the rear of where the circuit's first corner is now located. It was destroyed by a fire, but an original stable block and the enclosed kitchen garden still stand beyond the perimeter of the circuit. So that is why it's called Old Hall Corner. Obviously, something used to be there back in the day that got burnt down.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I'm just bringing up the track map
Oh,
myself.
someone has just clattered. I've just seen there, I think it may have been Lodder, has just absolutely came together with that tyre wall, and the tyre wall didn't nudge, and where did Lodder go? All the way off to the other side of the grass.
Yep.
As Laney here is really trying to find. This is what's interesting about the touring cars as well. The circuits are so short and so quick that Laney here is trying to find a good gap for him to get a good run in with 40 seconds left. So he's got to be sharpish about this as well. But he doesn't want to come into traffic on his next run. He's really trying to find the break, but because there's that many cars on circuit, Kelly, he can't find it.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to stay on board with him for his because he's lining up for a quick lap. So I'm going to stay on board with him. Let's see if we see this quick lap, because he's got a grid penalty. So he's going to want to put it as high up the grid as he possibly can to compensate for that. So as he comes across the start-finish line, and Old Hill Corner, isn't it? First one.
Old Hall.
Round there, and Old Hall, and stays within track limits. Down the hill towards Cascades. Tricky braking. Get your braking done. Don't try and turn and brake at the same time. Back end goes very light through here. Runs out to the edge and all the way down here through Island Bend.
Yeah.
The next one, and into Shell.
No, into the Island Bend now. Shell Oils is the other hairpin.
It's the other hairpin, is it? I'm looking at the wrong map then, aren't I? As we come up to the chicane, I can't watch both and look at the Wikipedia as well, so I'm not going to bother anymore. So chicane, you can be a little bit greedy, not too much. Don't hit that barrier, that tyre wall. Bring it over, come close to the tyre wall, but don't hit it. Run out wide through Knickerbrook, and on the back half of the circuit now. I don't know if he's moving quickly. He seems to be keeping it all in the right direction. Tricky one, this one, double apex. See the car moving around between the apexes, down into the last corner. One of the most favoured overtaking opportunities. Certainly, I say I've seen. We talk about Matt Neal a lot, and he does usually do it very well there. As he comes across the line, is he going to improve?
No, he's backed
on
off.
His time. No, he's backed out of it. Backed out of it. There you go. He's the last man.
Quick heads up for you both. Pit lap is lap 8.
Pit lap 8. So mandatory pit stop at lap 8. Then Andy takes pole position, not provisional pole, by near enough a tenth, we can say, from Laney. But Laney will drop to third place, with Emo Guy being promoted into second place. Deloria will start fourth, with Dan in fifth. Vliegek, new dad to a second child, so congrats to him, will start sixth. John Boy seventh. Jay in eighth with X-Mark P9. Lauder will be in P10. Alfonso struggled down in P11. I say struggled, 6/10 off the back of the leaders. Fury will start 12th. Poteneep in 13th, and we have got all 14 drivers, so that's what we want to see. And the Greek down in P14, and all the way down to, I think when I scrolled down before Dan got us going, Poteneep, Fury P12 was 7/10 off a pole position, so the top 12 covered by 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's impressive, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it? That's what you want to see as well. That's what you want.
Absolutely. You want to get involved in sim racing. You're looking at this thinking, I can do that. Yeah. Well, come and have a go if you think you're quick enough. Sign up, motiveracing.com, or follow on YouTube, follow on Facebook, so on and so forth. Not just touring cars, there's lots of championships that you can get involved in across the week. Motive is one of many sim racers. Another one to check out is Simplay. That's Matt's baby. Have a look on that on Wednesday and Thursday nights, or get involved. Lots of fun races as well on that channel, as is on Motive. So get involved in it. As I said, if you're watching thinking it's fun, it is. Get involved.
Yeah, get involved with Motive Racing, who run over ACC, Formula One and Project Cars. Me myself, I race on the Formula One on a Friday night, and so much fun. I watched the streams on ACC. They look brilliant, and obviously I get to commentate with the lovely Kelly Davis on a Sunday evening.
Thank you. Like custard.
Yeah,
thick and sticky.
Sweet and sticky in the commentary box every Sunday night.
Sweet and sticky, like custard. Apparently.
Sweet and sticky in the commentary box every Sunday night, 8:15. Tune in. You wouldn't want to do anything else on your Sunday night. Let's put it that way.
What else is Sunday nights for?
Tune into Sweet and Sticky.
That's going to be it. I'm going to give you to the Discord role for that.
That's fine. Hey, we're all over that.
Luckily enough, we're syncing up and about to go, Matt. Here we go.
It's absolutely brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. We have 26 laps here. And we're green, and look at the start then from Emo Guy. Andy has got so bogged down, and as usual in typical fashion, that BMW is like a rocket off the line. And Dan around the outside of Andy, it's Old Hall Corner. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Tucks into P3. He jumped over Delore and Laney at the start line. It was as if they wasn't even moving when Dan shifted up into first and went into Cascades first time. Then Andy all over the place, and a huge twitch. Oh, where's he going? He's taking the old circuit, the Foster's circuit, I do believe it's called. He's going that way round. Is that Dan here then under a bit of pressure? No, we haven't. Dan here under a bit of pressure from Laney then, but he's up into P2 subsequently due to Andy getting a massive twitch.
Yes, indeed. We're not getting any smart comments from Ian right at the moment because he's out front and he needs to break away and build himself a gap if he's going to be safe from the oncoming pack. He had the best of the starts, as you said, the BMW quick as off the line, and Daniel making it stick into P2 at the moment, but he's got Laney for close company, and we know how quick Laney is. John Boy not far off the back of these two. Of course, only half a lap in, so loads to play for. Mandatory pit stop in this race as well, so look out for that and what strategies are going to be used.
Yeah, lap 8, the mandatory pit stop, as we was told by our in-race reporter Emo Guy at the end of qualifying then, and Dan having to heavily defend from Laney here, and you can see the difference in pace already for that BMW, struggling in the dry compared to what it was in the wet. It was hassling the back of the Megans in the wet. Laney is now really on it here, but Dan doing a stellar job of defending at the end of lap 1, and Laney has got to be wise here to make the move on Dan. Dan will not make it easy for him. And Dan, hopefully over the past couple of weeks, has learnt his lesson. He just tends to leave the door open at times. Hopefully he's learnt his lesson in keeping that door shut when defending hard from the guy behind you, as Laney will not need a second invitation to send one up the inside.
Yes, indeed, and I know I'm biased, but Daniel's such a nice guy. Yeah. He does tend to.
Wow!
John Boy.
Wow!
What was John Boy doing there? Oh my God!
What was
he doing? He was miles away from the. Braking in the right place, takes Daniel out in the middle there. Well, maybe a stewart's inquiry about that one. I think
we saw in race one. We saw in race one, Kelly. Alfonso did it to Ian, but I think that one was worse. You can at least say Alfonso was braking in the wet. This is bone dry here, and John Boy, like you said, came from nowhere to clip the back of Unorthodox then, as Dan has dropped all the way back down to P8, and he is now going to find it difficult to make places up the grid.
Absolutely, and John Boy with all his wheels locked, a little bit uncharacteristic for him, to be fair.
Oh, that's someone up in the background.
I
think that's Lodder.
No. Is it Lodder?
Yeah, Lodder, back of the pack.
Yeah, Lodder recovering. Absolutely.
What a shame.
Absolutely, what a shame indeed. So Laney in second place. He's got Delore with close company now. We haven't heard a lot for Delore for the last couple of races. He's usually really quick. Tier 2 champion, as I remember.
Yeah, I believe so.
And you know, the tier 2s aren't that far away pace wise from the tier 1s. Do you know what I mean? There's not a lot in it with these guys. So no slouches, Delore. But we haven't seen a lot of him in the last couple of races. So going well here in third place at the moment. See how it progresses for him. He's got his brother behind him, new dad Feliga. He's got his second child today. So I believe today, but certainly a new dad. So. Second child, well, that's another 18 years of, what am I talking about, 18 years of her.
Yeah,
18 years.
You've still got Dan there now.
Yeah, I've still got Dan. It doesn't end at 18. It goes on and on and on forever. So congratulations to Vigla for another lifelong commitment. But he's going quite well, just behind his brother in fourth place. And then we go back to Dan and everybody else behind Dan just at the moment. So Dan, Fury, X-Smart, Alfonso, Andy, Jay, John, Potney and the Greek are all within a second of each other in this line.
They are indeed, and Dan, this is the thing I said a minute ago, Kelly. Dan's struggling to struggle now that he's dropped down the order a bit with fast Megans around him here. He's got no Gary to help him tonight in the sister BMW. And Fury looks as racy as he did in race 1 tonight. He will be hassling the back of that BMW of Unorthodox as they go for the rest of this race. 4 more laps until the pit window opens here, and 22 laps left in this race.
Yes, indeed. And Fury again. Fury started towards the back, did he not? 11th, 12th, something like that?
Yeah.
And is up to 6 and being quite racy. Daniel's either Valiga has had a bit of a scruffy lap. Yeah, he's done a 1:26. Must have had a bit of a mistake because Daniel's come straight up onto the back of him, and of course Daniel's just dragging everybody else along with him. So Vliga is going to be under big pressure now as all the pack is catching up behind him.
Yeah, indeed he is, and Dan here needs to get this job done so he can try and create a bit of breathing space behind him and put Vlee in between him and Fury, and if Fury can then hassle the back of Vlee and battle with him, Dan can then start to just pull away slightly. But at the minute, it looks like Vlee's got going again here because he's not being caught too much by Dan. As Dan, you just see him struggling to get that car into Lodge Corner there as they come through Deer Leap, up the hill again and down towards Old Hall Corner. It just looks like he's struggling to get the front end turned in this BMW.
I always said that from my very limited experience of driving the BMW, I drive the Megane, as we all know, and I found the BMW so difficult to get turning on. The hardest part for me was getting it to turn into the corners, where the Megane has no lack of turning and then flicks out the back end. But I found the BMW very difficult to get the front end to go where I wanted it to. Oh, as Dan gives Vliga a bit of a nudge, that's put Fury up. Dan backs off it a bit, being Mr. Gentleman again. He's more gentleman than Jensen Button, that one, do you know what I mean? And just nudged him and let him get away, took that place away. So Daniel was the net loser out of all that.
Yeah.
But playing fair, as usual. His parents obviously taught him well. I don't know what the hell went wrong there.
But what it has done though is it's put Dan on the back foot, and having last year's defending champion on the back of him, Xmart now looking to have a go at Dan as they come up towards Druids. Dan has got to get his head around it and got to get back on the pace. Andy then, after his bit of a wiggle at Cascades lap 1, is on the back of this pack as well. He needs to make some ground up as he knows Laney leading the championship. He needs to outscore him in the night to try and close that gap back up after a terrible Silverstone Classic last week, or Thruxton as we called it last week. So Andy needs to make his way up through the pack, but Xmart at the minute, defending champ, hassling the back of Unorthodox, and Dan here behind good friend and teammate over at Simplay, Fury, or was teammate for last season, Fury, and Dan now has to get out through the back round Fury to put that car in between him and Xmart, as Xmart is putting him under some immense pressure, not looking to make a move at Cascades, but is he looking to set him up? Dan having a look on Fury, but that could leave the door wide open as Xmart, you see him left, right, and doesn't know which way to go, and eventually stays behind as Dan, really super duper late on the brakes there, catches up to the back of the Monster Energy car.
Yes, indeed. You said about Andy having a what did you say? A little wiggle. My gosh, he nearly ended up in a different county. He was so far off track in Cascades in the first one. He's made a hell of a recovery drive to be where he is at the moment. And Xmart, yes, Mr. Consistent, Fernando Alonso, Colin Turkington, Mr. Consistent, built this whole championship, the reigning touring car champion. Looking very racy behind Dan, he was. Still all to play for. Dan's on the back of this battle. We know Fury's driving well today.
Oh, Fury. Just want to say something about Fury. He's driving brilliantly, because when Dan was trying to put pressure on Vlee, he still had Fury hassling the back of him and couldn't apply as much pressure as what you're seeing Fury apply to Vlee at the moment. So Fury, top job at the minute. And look at these five cars. Here goes Andy.
Yep,
now
he has a look.
Oh, Mark!
Getting a bit out of shape. No, he's okay, but he's going to be swallowed up by Andy by the looks of it. And Andy's made that done. Xmart being a little bit ambitious, sticking his nose in, got a little bit out of shape. Andy capitalised on that. What's Daniel doing? Daniel's letting him through. Has he had to slow down?
Slow down potentially, I'm not quite sure there, but Dan has lost 2 places either way, so I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Dan loses 2 places and drops off the back of Fury then, as Fury's still putting the pressure on Vlee. Andy's trying to gain on the back of Fury with Mart on the back of Andy and Dan on the back of Xmart then, so no matter where you look in this battle at the moment, there is pressure all over. Hats off to Emo guy so far, doing a stellar job. He's pulled the gap over Laney.
Do you know what? I was just about to say we haven't heard a word from Ian for the last 7 laps, so he must still be leading. You know, because he's being. I like it when he's out front because he shuts up.
He's doing a stellar job at the minute.
Ian. Pay attention.
Stellar job at the minute. 2.5 seconds in the lead from Laney. Laney's got a good gap back to Delore as well, and then a huge gap back to Vlee, Fury, Andy, Unorthodox, and Exmart. Dan has actually got past Exmart while we've come away from that battle. Dan is in front on the timing screens then of Exmart. And there is that one done then. Yeah,
don't know where he's done that. I swap over to Emo Guy there just for a moment because you should really give the leader some airtime from time to time. He's checked out 2.5 seconds in front of Laney and got this under control. So we go back to Dan. Dan's the guys in front of him have gapped these two a little bit. So I don't know if they were tripping over each other a little bit to get that move done because the guys in front of them have gapped him a little bit. So Dan and Laney, Dan and Exmart really want to get their heads down and move forward. As we saw, who was that? John Boy in the distance going backwards. He went wide at Cascades and was going backwards. Look at this battle here, though, isn't it? Andy Fly and Fury all in close company.
Fury's done Fly then over the last couple of laps as well. So Fury now back up into P4 and wants to start to pull away from Fly here to get on the back of Delore for another podium for him. And Andy's having a look at the exit to Knickerbrook and coming up towards Clay Hill now. He's going to be on the inside for Druids. That is going to be brave side by side all the way up towards Druids here. And it's really who's brave on the brakes. But if I was Fly, I'd be backing out of that one and getting the run towards Lodge Corner.
Yeah, if you both were going to try and go through there, it would have been hairy for sure. It's when you're stuck on that inside and you can't quite see where the other person is. It's so hard to pick your braking zone so you can, not crash into the other person as you exit from the corner or whatever. But oh look,
Dan pulling the trigger. Dan pulling the trigger. Then the first man to make his pit stop. Pit window opened this lap. So Dan and Jay. The first two to pull the trigger here, so this is going to be interesting. Clearly the undercut for Dan. Now, is this going to work over at what could be a massive overcut for everybody else? But trigger has been pulled.
Oh, and he's out again, look, that was quick.
That was quick.
Let's move.
Where's Lodder? Lodder's not even coming around yet. Jay as well, that was a good stop for Jay. Jay wasn't that close to the back of Dan, although Dan, obviously, the effect of being on the pit limiter, Dan will be back to his normal gap over Jay. The fact that he was able to hit the limiter first. Lodder comes into the pits. He's well down the order after his spin at Druids earlier, but there in the distance you saw everybody coming through Hislop Chicane and Knickerbrook then. Andy on the back of Fury. They've just started to drop Fly here and he's just fell back in P6. He's getting closer to Exmart than he is to the back of Andy. And Fury and Andy here, they could do with working together here to use the slipstream and a bit of towing each other down the straights to get on the back of Delore.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, Fury's slow. Fury very slow.
Yeah, oh, no, they both hit each other. They're both off. They both go round. Oh, no, that's a disaster for both of them. Fury and Andy both make contact with each other. They end up going off. They end up, as quite often happens, when you touch, you end up getting magnetised together or something crazy, and you can't kind of break free, and they both end up in a wall. What a shame there, because these two would have jumped Dan in the pits. Fury now pulls the trigger on his pit stop. I reckon now Dan may get the jump on Fury. Andy has got to go super duper fast here to make sure he makes his time back up on Dan. Otherwise Dan then could gain 2 positions on doing that undercut. But what happened there? Fury looked very slow and then all of a sudden got caught up with Andy. It was as if, like you say, they got magnetised and came together. Pokeneep in the pits. Fury's only just away from his pit box now, and look, the BMW of Dan flies past, and look at the gap he's got. Yes, indeed. Fury's still only just coming off his pit limiter, and Dan is down the road. So we'll see how that pans out for Dan. Keep it all together, Dan. Don't drop it. We'll see how that pans out later. Dan may have made a master stroke pitting early with a quick pit. It might put him back into contention in this race. Probably not towards the front, but certainly in contention.
With Andy and Fury having that coming together, they may have just that may have helped Dan out here, and that's clearly what's helped him get so far in front of Fury at the moment.
Yes, indeed. Just dropping to Laney, who is reeling Ian in slightly. Similar sort of lap times on the last lap. Although Emo Guy does it just into the 25s.
Yeah, Laney six tenths quicker there. In fact, half a second quicker, to be fair, last lap. So Emo Guy maybe made a mistake somewhere on that lap. X-Mart's got past Fly, so that's P4 for X-Mart at the moment. So he's making his way through the pack. Of Fly here just seems to be dropping. Yeah, just seems to be dropping off to Fly at the moment on his pace so far. So it's not where we'd want to be. Although you do not want to be on that curb because it will wiggle you about everywhere, and X-Mart manages to keep that one going.
Yes, he did. Martin, one of my co-commentators for Clio's on a Tuesday night here on Motive. Lovely guy, good as gold. But as I said, Mr. Consistent, just doing what he has to do week in, week out. Reigning touring car champion at the moment, but he got Fly for close company. And we'll see how we get on when all the pit stops pan out, and we'll see where X-Mart ends up in things.
Indeed, he's just picked himself up a time. He's just picked himself up a time penalty as X-Mart as well, Kelly.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, few more penalties this race, look.
2 seconds he's got.
2 seconds then for X-Mart.
Yeah.
This goes back to your comment in race 1. The boundaries have been pulled back in, and its normal track limits resumes now that the track's dry. And look at the state of the Fly. One of them.
Yeah, all over the place, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. And look at the state of the track limits here. Look at that battle in the background. Andy all over the back of Alfonso, and Andy on a bit of a recovery drive again. He had a massive wiggle early doors, not a little one as I commented on. And now a collision with Fury. He's got to make this place up, and he is really wringing the neck of that Renault Megane all over the curb, pushing the track limits as far as he can go. But he is flying at the moment. Look at him really pushing Alfonso to his limit so far on the outside for Old Hall. Can he set him up for Cascades? It's not really an overtaking place, but Andy may just have a look here. He needs to get manoeuvres done, and he's done it before Cascades.
He has nicely done. Kept his foot in there. Is Andy now driving a heightened, passionate drive after his coming together with Fury? Is there a little bit of anger in that cockpit, which is driving him forward, or he could just be going really quickly? But Andy making that one stick, moving forward, trying to recover some valuable points in this championship.
He is. After his poor Thruxton, he really needs to get this one back going and kickstart his championship. And he said to us a few weeks ago, 4 races he won last season and he didn't manage to fight for that title. He wanted to do it this year. He's had half the race wins, and a poor Silverstone meant that he's not been able to do the same. Last week he struggled again. This week, race 1 I say he struggled. He finished P4, decent points, but this race 2 hasn't gone the way he wanted. John Boy down in P8. He's not pitted yet. He's on the back of Alfonso now as Dan has just passed the Greek for P9. And the next car he'll come up to is the guy who T-boned him at the hairpin. Yeah,
he probably won't be looking forward to that. No. He's got a little way behind him as John Boy goes into the pits. So Dan will get past him in the pit stops.
Yeah, we should see Dan coming up over the hill any time now. In a minute. Give it
any second now.
Yeah. Now Dan's up over the hill and round the final bend, and John Boy will lose that position to him as John Boy's already heading out the pit lane, but Dan's coming at him with such speed that one will not matter then, as that is P8 now for Dan, and he is 15 seconds off the back of Alfonso with a time penalty, but yet without the pit stop. Dan was the first man to pull the trigger, don't forget. So Dan's down. Some of them have pitted. Not all of the people behind Dan have pitted. So everybody above Dan yet to pit. So let's watch the progression of the BMW driver as Laney well wide there. That could potentially be a slowdown.
That got to be a slowdown. Is he going to ease off? Is he going to ease off? Is he going to take the penalty?
You don't see Laney ease off when he takes the penalties. You see Laney, he does accumulate a few time penalties, let's put it that way. He's going to go into the pits. So maybe that's his way of getting rid of the time penalty, slowing down.
Get rid of that slowdown. That would have been smart, wouldn't it?
It would have been smart.
I was going to say Emo Guy was under pressure there, but Laney took it wide. We presume he would have got a slowdown. That would have eliminated his slowdown by pitting at that point. That might have been a smart move, or it could have just been random luck. But he's in and out of the pits. Pit crew are on it today.
Brilliant,
considering they have to do, to be fair, considering they have to do nothing, they're really on it today. You know,
they really are on it. As Laney is out ahead of Dan, so one man has pitted and came out ahead of Dan. Dan only just coming up through Dealey, then in towards Old Hall. So he's about, there you go, 12 seconds off the back of Laney. which I mean, he was about 10 seconds off the back of him before, you know, after his incident with John Boy. So, relatively the same sort of pace from Dan to Laney. I think we're looking at X-Mart down in terms of where Dan can maybe leapfrog in the pits. I think Emo Guy and Laney was too far out in front.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's a big old gap there now between Dan and Laney. So we'll see how many drivers slot into that one, as Dan has a little bit of back-end action.
One man
but manages...
Sorry, Kelly. One man not making the progression I was thinking is Fury since he's came into the pits.
Yeah, he seems to be, although, what is he, a second off the Greek, couple of seconds off the Greek, and...
had his altercation with Andy and just hasn't came up through the field as Emo Guy's in for his stop then. Where's he going to come out in relation to the man Andy is ahead of? Ian's away now, and that's only X-Mart just going past him. Tell you what, here, Emo Guy cracking in lap. Laney not the best of outlaps then. Well, and Emo Guy's extended his gap a little bit, I'd say.
Yeah, not by... Well, yes, he has, yes, because Laney's now got... he's made a second or so, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Laney was getting was like half a second behind him as they went into the pits. So yes, indeed, Emo Guy's managed to do the bits. He goes very deep into the hairpin, and we got some lag going on there as well. Let's get off him before it makes a problem. But Laney,
Alfonso's pitted as well. Sorry, Kelly. Sats gave Dan another place.
Yeah, Dan goes up another one. Laney with a bit to do again now. And it's a bit scruffy into the... outbraked himself a little bit into the chicane. Will have put him on the back foot a little bit as he comes through the next couple of corners. But Laney's certainly got time. He's got 11 laps to reel Emo Guy back in.
Here's a question for you. Has Andy done enough by going extremely long and not covering Fury off straight away? Has Andy done enough to jump Fury?
Has Andy done enough to jump Fury? Well, yeah, possibly. We haven't seen Fury, setting the place on fire since his pit stop. But then he's probably just been in clear air. I don't know. We will soon find out.
Yeah.
Andy's got a bit of a reputation for going very long.
He has.
Is his normal default for in his racing career. So we'll see how long he goes. He's got the net leader behind him now, Emo Guy, a couple of seconds behind him. Emo Guy will be keen for these people in front to pit and get out of his way, I think. We will certainly see. There's certainly a couple of things still to iron out through the pit stops yet, and we'll see how they all end up.
Indeed there is. Then Andy on the back of Fly, this 4P3 with these two not yet to pass.
Fly. Today, everyone's had a go at Fly.
He's had a bit of a quiet race, hasn't he, this second one? But Andy on the back of him here. These two haven't pitted, neither has X-Mart or Delore, who's the top four in this race. Emo Guy is now the first car, or the lead car to have pitted, should I say, down in P5 with Laney on the back of him. Dan a further 15-16 seconds behind. So what can Dan do here in his quest to maybe jump Fly, X-Mart, Delore and Andy, who he was battling to start with?
Yeah, now that's going to be the interesting bit, isn't it? Where Andy, Fly, X-Mart, Delore, as you said, where they fit in that big gap between Laney and Dan at the moment. So we're going to see how many cars fill that spot. But Andy's got past Fly, and then Fly went a bit wider and slowed down because it seemed to be reasonably easy meat for Andy. So he's got that one done, and on he goes. Laney getting close to Emo Guy again. These guys, the net leaders. Emo Guy's had this from the start, early doors. Early doors. He went for the lights, and Laney dragging him back in again. Just seems to have a little bit more pace at the moment, but they're coming up. I was going to say on back markers. They're not back markers. They're unpitted cars. So they are coming up for position, although they're not really racing these guys. So. We'll see what happens as they do get up behind them. These guys are going to want these ones to duck into the pits any time now, but
Indeed,
We'll
and
see.
the thing for Fly and Andy and X-Mark Delore here is that they're not going to want to... Oh, is that a bit of lag?
Emo
Oh, no,
Guy,
that's a bit...
lag.
Yeah, it's a bit of lag there that's pushed Emo Guy very
They
wide.
haven't really got that good an internet in Scotland, have they?
No, they haven't.
I think it's still done with... I think it's still done with like cuts and bits of string and stuff.
Dial-up, is it? Yeah.
No, cuts and bits of string.
Cuts and paper string.
And then talk into them. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
As Fleet Fly there
setup.
moves well out the way of Emo Guy and Laney, knowing that he's not racing these two. I was about to say that you don't want to be fighting the two leaders hard when you know they've pitted and you are still yet to pit, because if you challenge them too much, Dan could slowly creep up on the back of them.
Oh,
who's that? Is that Fly?
Anyway.
Yeah, Fly. Big. He's managed to keep
out.
hold of it, so well done to him there. He's had a big slide. Dan here, for me, I reckon he's going to jump Fly. I reckon Andy may have done enough, to jump Dan.
Possibly, yeah. Where is he? He's 15, 18 seconds ahead. Andy, 18 seconds ahead of Dan. Yeah, I don't know what the pit lane thing is, but it's not the longest of pit lanes, that's for certain sure. So yeah, it's not a complicated pit lane either, is it? There's not so it's reasonably in and out, so it's not a difficult one. Yes, you might be right, Matt. You might well be right.
Yeah, Dan's got some work to do here. Andy has done a stellar job by going long, but saying that, DeLorean X-Mark may have jumped Dan as well. Fly, I don't think will jump Dan, as Dan is just he just doesn't seem to have the pace, does he, in the dry now that BMW is in the dry. It doesn't seem to be coping with these Renault Megans here then as they break in towards the final corner, and Laney then good on the brakes. But still finds himself staring at the back of the black car in front of him, the black and green monster liveried Renault Megane of Emo Guy. He finds himself, he could paint a picture of what that car looks like by the end of tonight, as he's spending more time behind it than he wants to. Here is Fly all over the curb. There you see at the bottom of your screen.
That curb does drag you about. It is a big curb, that one.
It is. It's a horrible curb to get on. And Laney, very wide. That'll be another slowdown penalty. In fact, Laney has got a time penalty already, and that will potentially be another one.
Yes, indeed, and not when he needs, for sure. As he goes, he's slowing down. He's trying not to get any more penalties. As Ian went a little bit deep into the hairpin.
Look how slow Laney is now. He's really slowed down to really. Yeah. He doesn't want them penalties to hurt his chances as Fly there. Woof.
Oh, Fly goes straight on.
His penalty actually happened. He got another one. He's up to 4 seconds.
Oh, there
He's got 4 seconds now.
Laney up to 4 seconds worth of time penalty then, so he's got to get past Emo Guy and get 4 seconds up the road. We're on lap 19 of 26 here. That's a big, tall order, especially now he's dropped 2.5 seconds off the back of Emo Guy. So he's basically got to find 6 seconds from somewhere. But Vlee there, it's a good job Vlee managed to go straight on at the chicane, because if he'd have T-boned Laney, that could have been disaster and race over.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hopefully he was mindful of that as he outbraked himself. I did it once in the previous race. Outbraked myself, just went straight on. I was no one around me at the time, so no harm done. Probably the same for Fly. He knew where he was, and outbraked himself and just stayed out of the way of it, because he stayed out of the way as they came through. So I'm sure Fly was paying attention.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Fly still to pit, so is Andy X-Mark and Delore. There's Delore. Who's this? This is the Greek and Lodder. The traffic.
Yeah, could well be.
So that's traffic for Delore to get past as the Greek moves well out of the way, and now next up Lodder to move out of the way, but Delore still has to pit, as does X-Mark and Andy, and we're going to see where these guys come out. I reckon these two have done a lot here, definitely done enough to stay in front of Dan, and I reckon Andy may have done enough to stay in front of an Orthodox as well. Yeah, Andy's really on a mission at the moment. Yeah,
driving my car, the 42, number 42 Megane. That was mine.
The car has got pace.
The car's got pace. It's the driver that sucks.
No,
not you, Andy. Me.
I'm sure he. I'm sure you don't. No, you don't mean that.
I need to be in a championship with a car that's a little more planted. Is probably suits my style. This
something like a Honda.
No, something good. Something that's a bit more planted. X-Mark goes into pits. These cars, anyone who's played this game, driven these cars, they are a handful, and hats off to all the guys who race these and race these quickly. These cars are not the easiest cars to drive, especially these Megans are very, very twitchy on the rear. They never really warm up their rear tyres properly, and this whole kind of drift rally style that you kind of need to go quickly in these touring cars isn't my style. So, I might be better off with something a bit more planted.
Do you know, as I said, that X-Mart and Delore may have jumped down in the pits, and I think Andy might have. I take it all back, because X-Mart hasn't jumped down in the pits. Dan has got ahead of X-Mart and is 2 seconds up the road. So Dan just hanging on in there. I don't think then he will get Delore, but he may still come out ahead of Andy.
Yeah, he might. Touch and go, innit? Very touch and go.
It all depends on Dan's. It all depends on Andy's in laps and Dan's laps that he puts in now, and how quick Andy's stop is before we get anything done.
Yeah. On the chat, we've got the real Kurt. The real Kurt is back. Well, that's good to know. Which Kurt is that? I'm not quite sure. And the real Kurt again saying, "Dan, do you need fuel?" Which is seems to be this ongoing joke that
I don't get
about Dan and his fuel.
I spoke with you about it the other day, and I don't quite get the joke. So from
no.
what Dan was telling you the other day about his car in the real world, it needed oil. So if anything, he needs oil.
Yeah. And I do hope he's put some in.
Pedro was going to sort it. So we'll see if Pedro has sorted it, and that is that's Ian a bit laggy all over the road, but now has Laney all over the back of him again. 4 seconds though. Laney's got to get up the road from Emo Guy, and that.
No, but he only has he only needs to get 2 seconds now.
Oh, he only needs 2 seconds now. Oh, yes, I haven't noticed. Ian has a time penalty himself, so he only needs 2 seconds.
Yes,
so Emo Guy here with 4 laps remaining in this one, really now having to defend, and Jason Plato-esque braking, stopping on the apex of the corner and getting away. And I will credit Plato for that. It is a fantastic manoeuvre. I have used it once or twice.
Yes, indeed. I don't know about on the apex was quite the right term.
He stopped at the corner, but not on the apex.
He stopped at the corner because Ian hasn't been bothering the apex of that corner all race, but seems to keep it going. Yes, Jason Plato has a real talent for defending. One of my favourite races of the last few years was Snetterton with Plato and Sutton. Sutton giving Plato a huge hard time. Yeah. Plato defending really well. Sutton doing things with the car that I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, like ramming through other cars a bit more aggressively than Plato does.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that. He wasn't doing that. He was.
No, I know which one you're on about. It was. Fantastic.
Ended up with Plato taking Sutton out, but there you go. Never mind.
It did end up with that, because I remember watching the bit after. I actually found it the other day on my Facebook, saying that it was a memory that came up saying, "Oh, you shared this post so many years ago," and it was like Sutton kicking off at Plato because Plato had been a bit overly aggressive, and I went, "Ha, you're one to talk," but yeah. As Fly comes into the pits and Dan gets promoted up into P5 then now, which was the obvious one. The one to keep an eye out for Unorthodox is when Andy comes into the pits. Andy 5 seconds up the road from this battle here. There's the Greek, bit of traffic getting in the way of these two, and Laney at the moment hassling the back of Emo Guy without putting too much pressure on him.
Yes, indeed, and only a couple of guys now who haven't got penalties at all. I did say that they would be rife. They weren't in race 1 because it was wet, but certainly in this feature race, somebody getting well clear of these two as they're battling on. Net 1 and 2. Emo Guy, sorry, I've got hiccups all of a sudden. I do apologise. That'll probably be that pint of vodka I just had.
Pint?
Yeah, these two.
Pint of vodka.
Still going at it. Pint of
Woo!
You know,
hardcore down south as Delore comes into the pits.
Some of us are.
Yeah. Now I can't tell if Ian's ran deep there or no. It was just a lag. Ian's back in front of Laney, so he's all right. Yeah. We'll comment on that. Laney will make a spectacular move, and it will be for real, and we'll miss it because we'll think it's lagged. As Delore then into the pits, so these two then. Have they? Oh yeah, they have. I tell you what, Delore's had a good stop there. Ooh. He's not far off the back of these two. Look, Delore just comes out the pits, not far off the back, and with no penalties, could inherit this race win. You know, here, Kelly.
If you get close enough, it's not all. It's not over.
No,
2 laps to go.
Delore
down a bit of a way off these guys. So yeah, it wasn't out to match. To get Delore.
I'm going to have a guess here. Last time we went on board, Dan, his car looked all right. I'm going to guess he's hit one of them tyre walls that don't move because his front end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I'm down the side. Oh.
Yeah, that's been hit.
Needs some paint.
That's hit the core. He's hit the corner of the car on the tyre wall. I'm going to have a guess there, and has been caught up in that one. As the leaders then, the net leaders battling hard. Delore not off the back of him, could yet get a race win. Andy then, I think the only car left to pit has to pit this time, next lap or next lap. Otherwise, he will be disqualified from the session. So Andy, he'll be aware of that, and he'll know. I think he's got enough to jump Dan. 23 seconds the gap back to Dan. There's only 3 drivers on the grid without a time penalty, and that is Andy, Delore and Unorthodox. So well done for the guys for keeping it in track limits. Although Ian might be keeping it in track limits, and the lag's giving him the slowdowns. As there you go again. Look, they up.
That must be really difficult for Laney to judge if he gets to see the same as what we see. His judgment must be fantastic.
Yeah,
because that would freak me right out.
It's if for the people who, if you watch Motive and Sim play, that will know when Gary won his title Thursday night, Jamie Brazier suffers, Big Boy Brazier suffers with lag, and his car this time Ian is wide. Yeah, Ian is wide this time, and now he knows he can't let Laney get 2 seconds on him, because otherwise that is race over, as he's going to look up the inside, and taps the rear of Laney, but Laney manages to keep it going there then. Bit of a love tap from Ian, and a flash to say sorry, but Delore really hassling the back of them now.
Yes, Delore, they've both got 2-second penalties. Laney's got a 4-second penalty. Emo Guy's got a 2-second penalty. Delore's got no penalties. So Laney's got a lot to do to break 4 seconds away in a lap and a half. And Delore needs to get on with it.
Now Andy needs to pit this lap, but Laney at the minute has already got his foot down and found 1 second, so Laney is flying. Now he's been cleared of the Flying Scotsman, as they call him here at Motive. Well, he's not flying in the lead anymore. He's got a flying catch up to the back of Laney, but pull away from Delore. Andy into the pits now. Crucial pit stop. This is for P4 or potentially P5. Has he done enough to jump Dan? I think he has done enough to jump Dan, if you ask my opinion. Dan coming through Druids down towards Lodge Corner. Andy still in the pits. He's away. He's away. And Dan's not yet through Lodge Corner, through Lodge into Deer Leap yet. Here he is now through Deer Leap. Up he comes. Andy's not yet on the limit. He'll see the blue cone. Here's Dan. Now Andy's out. Andy's gone.
Yeah, he is.
Dan will see Andy in the foreground.
Down the road.
And he'll be like, damn. A few maybe not damn, maybe something a bit stronger than that one. But
I hope not. He was brought up as a good church-going boy. I hope he doesn't swear. You never hear me doing it.
And just for the viewers who watched the Tier 2 race earlier, when Dan said, I feel like I'm saying dad at times. When Dan said that I'd been a bit rude and a bit cheeky when I said Kelly FTW. FTW stands for the win, Dan. Just want to put that one out there. For the win, not Kelly something rude. Kelly for the win. FTW. I don't know what was going through Dan's head at that time, but
no idea.
Kelly didn't win.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't even get close to it. But, I got closer to the back. But with the 26-second penalties or whatever they were.
Oh, here goes Delore.
What's up? Slow down.
Yeah.
Got to slow down, maybe. I don't know.
Laney's going to cross the line here for the win.
Yeah, anyway, so
Laney crosses the line for the win. Delore's going to take P2 then. Emo Guy takes P3. We didn't quite make out what he said there. He was breaking up a little bit then, as there's Lauder a lap down. Andy's going to come across and take 4th.
Andy's with a great recovery drive.
Delore took the win. Delore took the win, sorry. That's what Ian's saying. Delore took the win because of Emo Guy's penalty. So Delore wins from Laney. Andy P4. Great recovery drive after his wiggle at Cascades. Dan 5th with Xmart 6th. And then it's really a battle of the penalties here. Basically, how many of you got? Because if I've got less than you and I'm behind you, I may finish just in front. WSRCJ could finish 7th. But we don't know. No, Fury finishes 7th, John Boy finishes 8th, and Jay finishes down in 9th. Vlee then finishes 10th. What a poor race for Vlee there. He was up there early doors, but down the order by the end of this one. Alfonso's going to cross the line. You don't know what penalty he could have, and Lauder could do him on penalties. I don't think he will, though, because Lauder was a lap down, I do believe, unless that was Popeneep. But waiting for Lauder and Alfonso. In fact, Alfonso did do Lauder.
There we go. Not confusing in the slightest.
No, it's brilliant.
We know one thing. Delore is the winner.
Yeah.
And may not done it on track, but done it on penalties. As we get the classification, is going to come up in front of us. There you go, Matt. I'll let you go through it. You're better at it than me.
Delore then, your race winner, and what a drive it was. He had a great longer stint than Laney and Emo Guy, and that was the one that paid him the dividends in the end and got Laney and Emo Guy on the penalties. Well, got Laney on the penalties. Emo Guy had let him through as he knew he was going to fall foul to the penalties at the end. Andy gets a P4. Great recovery drive from himself. Down a 5th place. Won't be too disheartened with that after being T-boned at the hairpin early doors in this race. And then look at the amount of penalties at the back half of this grid. X-Mark 2 seconds. Fury 2 seconds. John Boy 3 seconds. Jay 9. Vliegurk 6-second time penalty. Alfonso 5. Lod 4, Popeneat 4, the Greek 11th. So work to be done for these guys to keep it within the limits here. But some good racing, Kelly. Final thoughts from yourself?
I think we should have a quick talk about driver of the day. What do you think of driver of the day, Matt?
Driver of the day. I've got to take my hat off to Andy. Bounced back from a tricky Silverstone. He's had a few problems tonight. His wiggle at Cascades, but a pair of 4th places. Good set of results for himself.
I'm going to go for Dan, purely because I thought he drove the BMW really well. Had his fair share of problems at the beginning of both the races, but both came back for strong points. So I'm going to go for Dan on Orthodubs as my driver of the day. Got to have a mention to Fury. Cracking race 1. So impressed with Fury's. Fury's gained maturity over the last few meetings and seems to be moving forward. So good one for Fury. What could have been Fremo Guy, I thought he was unlucky to have the pace that he's had all the way through that race and then finally succumb to the other guys, unfortunately. So final thoughts. Well, touring car is normal, isn't it? Fantastic racing as normal. Stick around next week. We are at Silverstone International next week, Matt.
Should be an absolute cracker down at Silverstone International. We'll be back.
Completely wet.
We'll be back.
It's going to be wet, guys.
It's going to be wet. So, Daniel. Shush. Don't tell anyone.
Daniel.
Sorry.
Daniel. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Porsche Cup on the ACC platform then, and Kelly will be back in the commentary box Tuesday night for the Clio Cup.
Clios.
Yes. I'll be back in the commentary box with Kelly Sunday night next week for Silverstone International, which, as we now know, is going to be completely wet. That surprise is ruined. So, join us for that one. We shall.
And don't forget Wednesday and Thursday on Simplay.
Thursday on Simplay. Thursday on Simplay.
Thursday.
No Wednesday event. Yeah, if you want to tune in Simplay Motorsport Wednesday night, join us. We are doing Gran Turismo Sport, a World Cup in which 15 drivers are representing 15 different countries at random. Dan is taking part, as is Emo Guy, and we did a random draw to find out what country it will be. Dan is representing Team Australia, and Emo Guy is representing Team Brazil, the Samba region of South America. So join us at Simplay for that one, 8 p.m. Thursday night. Should be a cracking one.
I'll be there.
Indeed, you will.
I'll be, sweet and sticky in the box on Thursday night.
Sweet and sticky in the box, but from Sweet and Sticky tonight, we'll be back next Sunday. From everyone here at Motive Racing, take care, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you. Good night.
Sweet and sticky.